Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 13 of the anime series Noragami Aragoto, for all intents and purposes, the season 2 finale. And man, what a pitch perfect way to go out with this. I loved seeing how Yato spirited the reincarnated Ebisu away from Bishamon's realm. Decked out in Kazuma's digs, the tie and the shirt and everything, all bandaged, still healing from what they went through, and just carrying him like a rag doll, spiriting across the lawn. And you have Hiyori and Yukine just sitting there like, I wonder what that was. And then, of course, when Bishamon's running up, oh, that must have been Yato, And his whole purpose was taking this reincarnated Ebisu, who is like legitimately reborn. I mean, he doesn't seem to have, and Yato's trying to, piece this together. He doesn't seem to have any memories of what happened previously during his previous incarnation. Just, sort of the familiarity of the world. He's immediately just beloved of the world once he's reborn into it and everything, and everyone kind of gives him a little information about, you're reincarnated, you don't have to worry about it, don't stress yourself out and all that kind of stuff. But we saw that, the previous Bisu dying in Yato's arms, he very much wished he didn't have to. And the tragedy that it's all, he was the fall guy, he was the patsy for father. Oh, that just grates on my nerves. But I loved Yato. If I hadn't already loved Yato for all of his compassion and all of his wisdom and all of his, even though he is a goof, he's still a thorough goof, the evolution of that character, the entire impetus of stealing away with this new Ebisu was to bring him to the Olive Tavern, to make good on his promise. The final wish that Ebisu really had was to be able to revisit that restaurant once again and have that Hamburg steak. And it was like so tragic and so sad, but so beautiful at the same time. I was like smiling and wanting to cry all at the same time. And expounding out of that, the whole idea that essentially this Locution brush, nobody knows where it went. Of course, we know by the end, if you stick to the end, you know where it went. And it's just like leaving you off with exactly that sense of foreboding, there's still more stuff to come. Finally, we know who Father is, and son of a, as soon as I saw that little peckerhead, I said, so many people said, it rubs me the wrong way, this kid. He's putting the moves on Hiyori, and there he is. Now you see, manipulating the higher echelon gods of heaven to believe Ebisu is this guy. He was born with this natural compulsion to help humanity, to be a savior to humanity, to do good by humanity. And he was consumed with the idea of taking command of these evil, for all intents and purposes, phantoms, to try to quell the destruction that they wrought. And this is how he's thanked. The gods, the higher gods of heaven, are misdirected into believing he's an evil conjurer. He's a malevolent conjurer. And now they think, now that they've dispatched him, they think everything is said and done. The problem has been maligned. No, not quite. Just this entire finale was goosebumps. That much more engrossing was Yato's finally voicing that evolution for Yukine and putting the final nail in the coffin that is Nora. Like, it was so satisfying. I don't have one clue how the hell she got back out of the underworld. I was actually unclear as to whether Yato had actually left her behind. I mean, it happens so quick. It looks like maybe he dropped her in there and everything, and he left her behind. He was trying to break away from her, but I just wasn't sure. And lo and behold, that's exactly what he did. So I don't know how she managed to get back out again. Probably through the helping hand of Father. you know. But just finally being able to put her to bed and recant her name and send her packing. Like, father seems to see this as a weakness, Yato's inherent weakness. But it's so the 180-degree opposite end of the spectrum. It is strength. And it's camaraderie. It's finally, recognizing what Yukine, he's already recognized it, but it was a matter of form and function of him having to let them know, Yukine and Hiyori, what they meant to him. Yukine most especially. I mean, he has been devoted to Yato, compared to what we saw in season 1. The evolution of his character coming to fruition in the last, small handful of episodes where he wanted to become the exemplar. He wanted to live up to what it meant. Like Kazuma to Bishamon, he wanted to live up to what it meant to be Yato's exemplar, as well as his blessed vessel. And Yato, just the strength and the courage in Yato, showing his full form evolution in asking Yukine for help. He doesn't trust his own capabilities enough. He's been weak in the face of Nora's influence, of father's influence. He has been seduced by them and brought back into that framework of being murderous, a god of calamity, the thing he least wants any involvement in anymore. So he knows. It's like having an addictive personality. It's like somebody having the strength to say, look, I may be drawn to this thing, and I don't want to be anymore. You need to help me. Show me how I can make myself better. If not, show me. If not, lead me. Just be there along with me on that journey. Help me every step of the way. And again, it was like I'm smiling and I want to cry all in the same moment. Because it was monumentous. That realization, for Yato to finally put it into words, for Yukine to see this promise in action with Yato, sending Nora packing. It couldn't have been any more pitch perfect, that scene. From just be filled with, this engrossing, captivating relationship dynamic, to the closure involved in it. Shades of tragedy and joy all rolled up into one brilliant package. I mean, it's actually a nice happenstance that this episode happened to air on Christmas Day, because this episode was a gift. And I can only hope, desperately so, that we're going to get a season 3. Because, man, I want to follow along with these characters that much more. Seeing that trio reunited in the end, all of them having been integral to just the well-being of each other. Each of them confronting what life would be like without the other, realizing how important they all are to each other. And then making every, just effort to let them know it. Imagine if our daily lives were filled with that much recognition from others and also of ourselves, giving of ourselves. Letting your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever, know how important they are to you. Without being like Nora, the obsessive ex-girlfriend kind of mentality. I still don't know if they're actually, siblings or what, but she was definitely a negative influence on Yato, and he needed to break free from her, and he finally found the strength to do it. And like I say, what's more, he put that effort into words, into actions. He showed how important Yukine was to him. Now Yukine hopefully will have no longer any doubt of how integral to Yato's life and well-being he is, and that Yato now actually can vocalize that he appreciates that too. And vice versa. And again with Hiyori. I mean, it's just such a well-balanced trio. It's just so, it was just so pitch perfect. I mean, the tragedy in that loss of the Abisu of old, knowing that he is the patsy, knowing that he is the fall guy, for a much more malevolent benefactor, answering to my speculation that that might be the case early on in the course of this season, and his being reborn and losing so much of himself, and yet still the opportunities to come with the right kind of foundations and the right kind of guidance. That promise answers to the tragedy. It's very much what we deal with in life. C'est la vie. Such is life. And balancing that out with the same kind of, you know, reinvigorated strength that Yato and Yukine and Hiyori as a group put forth. I also really love the little footnote of, you know, Fuku and Daikoku having that discussion about, oh, Yato's still lazing about the house, that he doesn't want the food we prepare. If he just wouldn't be, you know, the thing that wouldn't leave all the time and the pain in the ass, you know. But they're really happy he's there. They're really happy he's safe. They were, you know, very much in their actions did we see that they were worried. They were both scared about what was going on, not only for the grander design, but for Yato himself. They wouldn't have ever come to try to get him out of the underworld and everything. They wouldn't have been involved if they weren't concerned. And this just answers to that even that much more. That they're happy. That things worked out for now, at least. You know, nobody seems to know father's out there except for maybe Yato. But we don't know exactly what's going on with that. You know, as far as the characters are concerned, they don't know what's going on. We, the viewer, know that crap is still going to hit the fan at some point, and I hope we get to see how that plays out. But I could just go on unendingly, you know, just issuing superlatives about this particular finale. It was awesome. This entire series was awesome. You know, it was that much better than season 1 in the evolution of the characters, the momentum of the story. You know, each of the characters had an all-important arc, and it came to a successful, satisfying fruition for each and every one of them. And this finale gave me everything I would have hoped. Threw me for a loop in certain estimations. It gave me everything I wanted in certain estimations, and it left me with that thought of, hey, there's still stuff to come. And that's exactly what I hoped would be the case going into it. And so I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you've seen the finale of Noragami Aragoto, if you enjoyed it as much as I did, found it as satisfying as I did, for manga readers and everything like that, you know, how well did they stick to the page without posting any potential spoilers for anything that was left out that may be explored, you know, in another season or anything like that. Just the translation. I know there were some people talking about things were rearranged in the course of the plot and everything like that. And just curious to see if it lived up to that translation, you know, taking from the source material, if it was well done, in your opinion. And love it or hate it. You know, anything goes in the comments below. Love having that conversation. And yeah, this was a hell of a way to go out. Absolutely, thoroughly enjoyed it. And that'll be pretty much it for me on this. So otherwise, I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.